and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Designs in Ontario, Canada. And today we're going to be making these cute little, the glare in here, these cute little Easter treats with, what do you call these? Reese's peanut butter eggs. But first I just want to I'm just going to switch down to my desk here. And maybe I'll turn this. Can you hear my cat banging on the door? I'm going to just quickly go through the last chance product list that actually goes live tomorrow. And tomorrow is April the 4th, I think, yeah. And Tuesday, April the 4th. And so these are the products that are going to be retiring from the annual catalog, which the new catalog is coming out next month. And also the mini, which retires this month as well. So there's two lists. There's one for the annual catalog and one for the mini catalog. So I just went through the catalog very, very quickly. I'm just going to zoom a bit here. And I haven't had a chance. We've been really busy with grandchildren and a very sick cat. We spent 5 hours in the emergency vet's office the other day, and it was brutal. But she's fine now, thank goodness. Giving her the medicine was like corralling cats. It was ridiculous. But anyway, she's much better now and feeling good. So what I did was, though, I started going through the last chance list and marking things that are going to carry over and what's going to retire. So what I did was I went through my catalog, and like this cup of tea bundle, although it's not retiring, it's also not in the new catalog. So I have a feeling it's going to be going into the online store. So the Memories and More cards are 60% off right now, and when they're gone, they're gone. And that's the thing with the last chance list, is that when the products sell out, they're absolutely gone. Yesterday, was it yesterday or a couple days ago, the Stamparatus, it was announced that the Stamparatus would be retiring. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know I use the Stamparatus quite a bit. And so I quickly put it on my Facebook page that if you wanted one, you should get one before they're gone. And literally within 48 hours, they were completely gone. Now, having said that, on the demonstrator site, we have a chance to check the inventory. And what it says in the inventory list is that it's unorderable, not discontinued. And then there's a to be announced memo beside it. So I'm wondering if they have another order coming in. And don't hold me to that because I actually don't know. But usually when they have a to be announced memo beside a product, it means that it's going to be coming in at some time, that there's some on order and they're just waiting for the shipment to arrive. So stay tuned. And if they do come back in stock, I'll certainly let people know, because if you don't have a Stamparatus, trust me, you really want one. So anyway, I think that the cup of tea is going to be going into the online exclusives, which I covered in my last video. Sending Smiles is carrying over, as is the Pansy Patch. Now, the only difference between this year's catalog and the new catalog coming out in May is that when a product first comes out with a matching die set, it's bundled and you get to save 10%. But because it's carrying over, it's no longer a bundle, so that 10% is off the table. But there's a whole bunch of new bundles that are coming into the new catalog. The Bottled Happiness is carrying over as well. Celebrating You is retired. Good Feelings is carrying over, as is the Sweetest Cherry bundle. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole catalog. And as you've probably seen on my Facebook page, there is a color refresh. And so we've lost 11 colors. 11 colors, and 5 of the what do you call it, in colors for 21 to 23 are retiring, and now there's a whole new 5 new colors that are coming out um, for 23 to 25, 2023 to 2025. So I'm really excited about those. Unfortunately, I don't have that in my hot little hands, but what I do have is I printed these out the other day. Now these are, I'm going to put this PDF on my Critters'n Ink blog, and it's a sheet of, I forget how many are on a sheet, but 10 or 15, I think. And so what I do is I laminate them, I separate them and laminate them, and and then I have a reference here. And what this tells you is that with Lemon Lime Twist, which was one of the colors that's coming back, if you recall, it was an in color a couple of years ago. It shows you the different colors that work with it. So you've got Lemon Lime Twist, Azure Afternoon, which is another new color, and Night of Navy or Poppy Parade or Gorgeous Grape. So all of these are a great combination. And then on the back, if you wanted to, if you found another combination that you really liked, you could just punch out a little circle and glue it to the back of your sheet. So Berry Burst is also coming back. That's a new color that's going into the brights. And Blueberry Bushel, that was an in color a couple of years ago as well. It's coming back into the brights. Garden Green is an old one. And let's get started on our little project. So cute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to score our card base. So what we need for this is so simple. So I have a piece of cardstock here that is 3.5 by 6. And you can get 3 bases out of 1 sheet of cardstock. And you're going to need 4 little pieces of designer series paper that are 2 by 3 inches. And I've scored at the bottom of each one at 3 3/4. So my screen keeps going weird on me. So if you're seeing that, if you could let me know in the chat, that'd be great. I'm not sure if it's recording the way I'm seeing it, which I hope it isn't. So you have 4 little pieces of that. So the first thing I need to do is we're going to score this at 3/4 of an inch down each long side. So I'm going to, get my blade out of here so I don't actually cut it by mistake. So I'm going to score it at 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to flip it around and score the other side at 3/4 of an inch. And then on this end, I'm on the long side, I'm going to score it at 3/4. And then I'm going to rotate it because I want the 3/4 at this end. And then I'm going to score this again at 2 3/4 and at 3.5. And again at 5.5. And as I said, I already scored my little pieces of a designer series paper here at 3/4 of an inch, and you need 4 of those. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our base, our little box. So I want to get rid of these 2 little corner pieces. So I'm just going to snip here and here. And I'm just slightly wedging it so that it sits better when I close the box. And I'm slightly wedging this panel as well. Did I do that on this side? No, I didn't. So a little wedge there. And then basically I'm just going to be cutting out, oh, it's hard to see. I'm going to be cutting out these, just the score lines. So I'm going to be doing a tiny, tiny wedge right here. And again over here. And then again over here. And I'm going to wedge this side just a hair as well. Then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then this final little piece here as well. And then this little wedge. So that's the base of our box. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, let me just grab my little mini cutter here. And I'm going to take the second smallest of the layering circle dies. Now, if you don't have these, they are retiring. So if you don't have a layering circle set of dies, I highly recommend this one. It's got, how many? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 scallops and 8 regular cut circles that are all kind of layering. So if you don't have something like that, you know, don't miss out. So I'm going to be putting this circle right in the middle of the square that has the big piece at the end here. So I'm going to center that, and I'm just popping it down with a piece of washi tape. And I'm just going to run that through my mini cutter. So good news, boho blue is one of the new in colors that's coming in for the years 2023 to 2025. And the little mini cutter that was part of the starter kit for Celebration is actually going to be available for sale. As a demonstrator, I get to pre-order. I already have one, so I'm not going to pre-order, but if you were a demonstrator and didn't have one, tomorrow you could order one, and they will be available while supplies last. So if there's any left over after the pre-order, then they will probably go on to the online exclusive store. So if you don't want to wait to see if that's going to happen, because if they sell out, they'll be sold out. You can always join up as a Steppin' Up demonstrator and get in on the pre-purchase, the pre-order, which starts tomorrow. That's one of the perks of being a demonstrator, is that you get to see and purchase everything a month ahead of everyone else. So that's always a great perk. So I'm just folding and burnishing all of my score lines on my box here. And as I said earlier, my screen keeps going a little, it goes like a blue flash. So if you're seeing it on your end, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know, because I'm not sure how that's recording, how it's going to record. So I'm going to create my box. So what I want to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on that tab. And fold this over like this to meet up the raw edges. And this is going to create the base of our box. So if you are watching and you haven't said hello, please say hi so that I know who you are. Okay, so there's our little base of our box. And now I'm going to put in our little tabs, put a little bit of glue on there. And I'm just gonna try and square it up here and let the glue settle for a second. And put some glue on here and bring the top down. And I'm trying to make sure that I keep it as square as I can. Okay, and I'm just going to push those 2 tabs down on the inside. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these 2 tabs. And just a bit of glue there. Oh, hi, Priscilla. How are you feeling? Oh my goodness. I hope you're feeling better. There, so there's our little box, and this is where the egg is going to sit in. Okay, so Priscilla, if you missed the beginning, this is what we're making. Little egg boxes. I have my stepdaughter and her husband and baby are coming. Well, she's not a baby, she's two. Are coming for Easter. So I'm making little table things for the dinner table. So this is what we're making, these little egg things. So next I have 4 little pieces of designer series paper. And I've scored them at 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. I'm not sure how focused that is. I think that's a bit better. So because it's designer series paper, it's much thinner than cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 4 at the same time. Now it's called the Very Best Trio Punch. And I'm not 100% sure, but for some reason I think this is retiring, which I think is a darn shame. So if you have this punch, let me just grab a piece of scrap paper here and show you how it punches. So if I was to punch it this way, you see how you get kind of put something dark behind it. See how you get this decorative edge with this little curl here, but I want the curl to be at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paper in, instead of putting it in frontwise, I'm going to put it in sideways. And then you'll see the different, see how I have my little curl is at the top now, which is how, the way I wanted it. So I'm going to go ahead and put my designer series paper in this way. And I'm punching all 4 of them at the same time. Now you wouldn't do this if you had cardstock, because it would probably damage the punch. So now to do the next side, what I have to do is flip it over and put it in sideways and punch it this way. And there we have our little decorative corners. Isn't that cool? Now what I need to do is put a little hole in the middle for where we're going to put our ribbon to tie it. So I'm going to turn this around. Here's our little garbage right here. Just get rid of that. So this cuts just a little opening to put ribbon through. So I'm going to pop this through like this, and I'm going to try and center it up as well as I can. I'm just kind of eyeballing it to figure out where the middle is, and I'm going to guess that it's kind of there, but we'll see. So let me just go ahead and punch that. And so there we have our 4 pieces with the decorative corners and our little ribbon hole. Okay. All right. So this is so easy. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold my little folds on these 4 where I've scored it. I keep getting these blue flashes on the screen, and I don't know if it's just the software or if it's, I don't know what's happening. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to glue these to the card base. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on the side here. And I'm just going to pop that right on there. I'm just going to do that on all 4 sides. Now you wouldn't have to put an Easter cream egg in here. What you could do too is, those lip balms that look like an egg, you could pop one of those in there if the person wasn't into chocolate, or, although I don't know how you couldn't be into chocolate. But yeah, you could do, I did something similar to this a few Christmases ago for my daughter and stepdaughters and my son's girlfriend at the time. It wasn't exactly like this, but similar, and I put those egg lip balm there. So here's our little box. So easy, right? And then our egg just goes in here. And then, oh, shoot, you know what I forgot to do? I wonder if I can take these off. I'm gonna try. I was supposed to score these. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna take these off, and I'm gonna make take 4 other. That's the problem, eh, with doing live. Gently tear those off and score them. There, I think it's salvageable. We'll see. So what I need to do is, I can't believe I forgot that, is I'm going to mark each one of these at 1 inch at the top. So I'm going to set this up at 1 inch. I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to make a little mark right there on all 4 of my pieces. So that's right at the 1 inch because it's 2 inches across at the bottom. So that's the top center. So if you're just new coming in and watching, if you wouldn't mind just saying hi so I know that you're there. And if you could let me know if the screen is flashing blue, I wouldn't mind knowing that too because it's flashing blue at my side. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to score from this center mark right to this score line. So I'm just going to line up my pencil mark to the score line here. And I'm just going to lightly score. And again, this is designer series paper, so you don't want to score heavily. Oop. My little scoring tool just fell off. And then I'm going to rotate it and do the same thing on this side. There we are. I'm just going to score that. And I'm going to do that to all 4 pieces. There. Thanks, Priscilla. Yeah, my old phone that I use for recording overheated and automatically shuts off when it overheats so that it doesn't start a fire. So luckily I had my regular cell phone down here and I popped it in. Tell me if you can see me now though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I've got this lined up. I've got my pencil mark in the center and I've got my score line in the groove. And I'm just going to score from the center to the bottom of the score, to the top of the score line in the bottom there. Okay, so that's 2 done. I have glue on the bottom, so it's sort of sticking. Great, thanks, Priscilla. Okay, and number 3, and again, same thing, I'm lining up the pencil mark and the top of the score line into the groove there. And then last one. Honestly, I can't believe that I forgot to do this. I've already made like 3 of these and it's, you would think it would just be second nature. All right, so let's try and glue these back on again. I hope I haven't destroyed my poor little box. It just goes to show you that, you know what, we're all human and we all make boo-boos. And it's just for my family and they'll get destroyed anyway, so it's fine. But yeah, that's going to be fine. It covers up all the nastiness that where I tore it off. So off a bit of that cardstock, which is sticking to me now. And there we are. Okay. I'm excited to see my stepdaughter and her husband this week. They're coming for Easter. And it's been a while since we've seen them. Probably a month or so, maybe a little bit more. So we're pretty anxious to see them. And the little one, Olivia, she's 2 now. And she is just such a sweetheart. and smart as well. She's so, so clever. All right, so there's our little box. And I'm gonna pop my egg in there. There, isn't that cute? And this closes up like this. So I have a piece of ribbon. Well, this is kind of like a shimmery twine, and it's about, I'm, it's a little bit bigger than 12 inches, but I think 12 inches would do it if you had ribbon. So I'm going to go in on the side from the outside to this one. So on the first one, I'm going from the outside to the inside. So let me pop that through there. And then the next one over, I'm going to go from the inside to the outside. Okay. Now, next, I'm going to go over and then in from the outside on the opposite panel. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm really looking for it, Zella. And then last weekend we were with the other two grandchildren, and Isla is 3 and Aiden is 2, and we had a great time. It was so much fun. So now with this one that we've just gone over, we've created like a little handle, right? So now we're going to go from the inside back to the outside through that little hole that we made. There. And I'm just going to tighten that up. Now you want to be gentle when you pull your ribbons because you don't want to break. This is only designer series paper, so you don't want to tear anything. So now I've got my ribbon goes over the top, and that's going to hold those two pieces together. And then these two pieces I'm going to tie in a knot to hold those two pieces together. And then I'm just going to make a little bow. And that's our little box. Isn't that just so stinking cute? There. So there's the box. And then for our sentiment, I'm going to take a scrap of basic white. And I have 2 stamps with me. I have the Country Bouquet, and I'm going to be using the For You from Country Bouquet. And I'm also going to be using the eggs from the Easter Bunny stamp set. So for the eggs, I'm going to just take some black memento. And basically, I really only just want this egg. So I'm going to stamp off kind of to one side. Got ink all over my thing, but that's okay. And I am going to take Highland Heather. And I'm going to stamp For You kind of over here in the middle a little bit, because I'm going to use a circular die to cut those out. I'm going to grab my little trimmer again. And this time I'm going to be using the smallest die of the layering circles. Last time I used the second smallest, and this time I'm going to be using the smallest. So I'm going to pop that on here, just on a piece of scrap. And I'm just going to center that right in the center of the circle, but I want the For You to be a little bit towards the top because I'm going to put the Easter egg underneath the words. Let's run that through here. So I'm sorry we're not going to be seeing you guys tomorrow because of extenuating circumstances, but once you get feeling better, I definitely... Oh, I put that away and I actually still need it. So what I want now is the smallest circle from the, what's this called? The Stylish Shapes dies. So I'm not the smallest one, the second smallest stitch circle. And we're going to use that to cut out a little Highland Heather circle for the background of our sentiment there. I'm just going to run that through real quick. There we go. And then for our little egg, so we have our sentiment here. And for our little egg, I'm going to color it using the alcohol blends. So I'm just going to do a little quick, nothing fancy, little color for Easter eggs. So yeah, so much going on with Stampin' Up! Right now. They have the color refresh starts in the new catalog. They've retired, I think, 11 colors and 5 of the in colors, which rotate every 2 years. They retire 5 and bring in 5 new ones. So I'm just going to cut out my little egg here. So fussy cutting is very relaxing. And you can see I'm moving the paper and not the scissors. And you'll have a lot more control if you do it that way. All right, so let's glue these two things together. So I've just got my little white circle. And I'm just going to center that on the Highland Heather circle. And then just my little egg. And I'm just going to pop that right there. And then I'm going to put a dimensional. There, so I've got this up on a dimensional and I'm just going to pop it right here. And there's our little egg gift box. Isn't that just so stinking cute? And this is going to be for our dinner table on Easter. Cute, eh? So I hope you've enjoyed sitting with me this afternoon and making these cute, cute, cute little boxes. And if there's any products that you think you could not live without, let me know. I would be more than happy to place an order for you. And if you do place an order with me, if you wouldn't mind just using my April host code, that really helps me to be able to collect the free gifts that I give to my people who place orders with me. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be awesome. Don't forget, if you watch the YouTube replay, to subscribe if you're already not a subscriber. And don't forget to hit the like button because that really helps with my numbers on YouTube. Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.